Mr. Tony Turnbull and Mr. Jeff Vaughn. And now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we would ask that you please rise and remove your hats for the singing of the Canadian National Anthem, to be performed by Ms. Alicia Dariano.
In which we invite students from schools across London to come to the market. They get to shop for their own ingredients out, meet the farmers, ask the farmers questions about where those ingredients are coming from. And once they've gathered all their ingredients, they get to bring it back up here to the market kitchen. They get to prepare a 3-course meal that they then get to ship together. Our team at Growing Chefs will guide the kids through preparing the meal, but it is the kids that get to do all of the work. So creating these cooking opportunities is more important than ever as we try and make sure that future generations learn to cook and prepare good food, learn to understand what healthy food actually looks like on their plate and how to make that food. Help us change the way we teach kids about cooking and about food. And what do you think, guys? Did you have fun today? Yeah! Awesome. Thanks, everyone.
Growing Chefs Ontario is a registered charity based in London, Ontario that unites chefs, growers, educators, and community members in children's food education projects. Donations from today's 50-50 draw will help create opportunities for 10,000 children, youth, and families to grow, cook, and share healthy foods together with the Growing Chefs team in 2018. The London Lightning would like to give a huge shout out to tonight's game sponsor, Libro Credit Union. Libro is a full-service financial institution with their head office and 5 branches located right here in London. A credit union with a purpose, Libro is focused on growing prosperity across southwestern Ontario. They do this by investing 100% of their profits back into our communities and by providing one-on-one financial coaching to everyone who banks at Libro. Libro has been supporting local communities for more than 70 years and is excited to sponsor tonight's game. Libro, where are you guys tonight? All those noisemakers, they're going to come in handy. Let's bring out right now Laura Husser, who's the branch manager with Libro, South, her daughter Ella, and their friend Bill the Duck. Come on out here, guys. Come on out. We'll get a ceremonial tip-off. We can call over from the Titans, Kyle Arsenal. And if we could call over from the London Lightning, our good buddy Yohanni D'Alembert over to do a ceremonial tip-off, that'd be great. All right, come on right up this way, guys. Come on right up. All right, Ella, this one's a little bit lopsided height-wise, okay? So you're going to have to really throw it up. Pose for a nice picture, first of all. All right, whenever you're ready, you just walk right up and you throw it as high as you can. You move a little closer to them. Don't be shy. They're the ones that are going to be playing tough later today, not you guys. They'll be nice to you. Try to lean it to your right a little bit as well. Go ahead, whenever you're ready. There it is, a nice job, Ella! Lightning winning the opening tip-off, that's the way to do things. Mike D, who you got playing tonight?
And now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's meet the starting lineups for both teams. First, the starting guard at 6'3", from Murray State, number 8, Ed Gordon. At guard at 5'9", from Illinois, number 11, Ahmad Starks. At forward at 6'9", from Baylor, number 23, Kevin Rogers. At forward at 6'5", from Tulsa, number 24, Justin Hurt. And at forward at 7 feet, from Albright College, number 35, Derek Hall. The head coach of the Kitchener-Waterloo Titans is Serge Langes. And now fans powered by Dance Extreme, would you please welcome to the floor your Lightning Dance Pass.
Good afternoon, folks. Welcome to today's Knoxroom TV broadcast of the hometown London Lightning versus the visiting KW Titans. I'm Brendan Jameson here with my partner, as usual, Chris Croucher. Chris, take us through the lineups today.
Well, a little bit of an interesting one. Kevin Rogers stepping in for the KW Titans. He gives them a little bit of size, but the rest of the lineup pretty similar to what we've seen all year from the KW Titans. Derek Hall at center, of course, a big factor for them. When they took the Lightning to overtime a couple games ago, he was a big factor there. Obviously been the best player on the Titans for a lot of this year, and a guy London's going to have to game plan for with that size. But they do have a little secret of their own. Royce White into the starting lineup for the London Lightning. He's back, and he's a guy who can match Derek Hall with that size, make things difficult for Hall, stop him from getting to his spots on the floor. This should be an interesting one. I know it's hard to say that based on how the KW London games have gone before, but again, we'll have that overtime game. We've had them pretty close before. It's going to be important for KW to deal with that initial onslaught that the London Lightning are going to bring. If they can survive that, they'll be okay the rest of the game. They just have to make sure they start strong and keep that momentum going.
And fans, if this looks like deja vu to you, well, we were here last week, this same time, this same place, and this will be the first game of a home-at-home between these teams. They'll meet tomorrow in Kitchener on Family Day.
And again, for Titans fans, this is going to be 3 London games in a row. London had a game on Thursday against St. John's to split it up a bit, but for the KW Titans, that might work to their advantage, whereas London's had to play a game in between, change their focus. KW's been able to stay focused on London during that entire time. That might give them a little bit of advantage, at least in the early goings of this quarter.
All right, so we will get the game underway here. Derek Hall and Julian Boyd at center there. And fans on their feet. We've got a pretty full house here today, and the Lightning with the tip-off.
And this is a big lineup that London's going with right now. Smaller backcourt for KW. Something's going to have to give here.
So Herring Jr. feeds Julian Boyd with the dunk to start the game. And the fans will take a seat early, and the Lightning put an exclamation point right at the beginning of the game, Chris.
Well, upper bowl nearly full here at Budweiser Gardens, and those fans able to get on their feet and then take a seat very quickly. A nice big play to start the game.
So here's Kevin Rogers with the ball. He'll feed it to Hurt. Hurt down low to Hall. Over to Ed Horton. Horton will take a 3, and no good.
Contested too, not the shot they'd be looking for.
And Anderson and Herring Jr. not on the same page there. Herring Jr. gives him a little nod, says, yeah, we'll get it next time, but a turnover by the Lightning. So Ahmad Starks across the timeline. Feeds Kevin Rogers. Over to Hurt. Hall. He'll feed Hurt for a short jumper. 2 points for KW.
A nice little play there between Hurt and Hall to get that shot too. Hurt, a very good scorer. One of the better pickups that KW have had this year, coming in and around the middle of the season.
Garrett Williamson feeds Anderson out for a deep 3. No good.
I think KW got to be happy about that.
And Anderson falls down. Kevin Rogers, he gets 2 points in his return to the court. And just a little defensive misplay there. Unfortunately, Anderson loses his feet. Herring Jr. is going to drive the lane. Leaves it for Anderson. He's going to take another 3 ball, and that's good for him. And we know how important it is for Ryan Anderson to get hot early.
And it was a problem for London in that game on Thursday against St. John's. They couldn't get that 3 ball to go early. Things turned around when they started making that shot, and it's good for London to see that happening early.
So Kevin Rogers tries to go over Julian Boyd. No good there. Anderson with the dribble. He'll feed Williamson across court. Herring Jr. at the top of the arc. Royce White's going to take a 3. No good. Little short. Got to shake that rest off for White. Ahmad Starks will set up, take a deep 2. No good. Too strong. Anderson corrals the rebound.
It's been a bit too much of that solo play from the KW Titans early in the shot clock.
And Williamson goes in tough down the center, and he'll get a floater for 2. So a fairly quick start to the game here. 7-4 Lightning edge, 2 minutes in. Horton over to Hurt. Horton out on the edge. He'll try to drive baseline. Boyd in there with the help. And he'll take the offensive foul there. And Julian Boyd so great at taking those charges.
Right now, things are going a little too much in the favor of London. I think KW, if they want to make sure this game stays under control early, is really going to want to get a stop here.
So Herring Jr. moving across half court. Anderson sets up the screen. Herring Jr. right to the rim, off the glass and in. Great individual effort there from Doug Herring Jr. Horton moving the ball around. Back over the shoulder to Rogers. That'll be Starks with the 3 ball, and that's a good.
An important one, too. They need some sort of an answer.
So just a 2-point game here for the Lightning in the early goings. Great feed, and Julian Boyd with another dunk, and he's finding his way to the basket this afternoon.
Just put that in the only spot that the pass wouldn't have been blocked in. Found Julian Boyd's hands perfectly.
So Derek Hall flips back out to Rogers. Rogers will take a 2 from just inside three-point land.
Again, London has a little bit of the momentum here, but KW is not going away. It's important for them to make sure they deal with that quick flurry London's going to have. When you come out that tunnel, you see this big crowd, it gives you energy, and you got to make sure you withstand that.
Royce White over to Boyd. Williamson in the corner. He'll feed White down low. White over his shoulder, Herring Jr. Anderson for 3. No good.
I was wondering when someone was going to take a shot there.
Yeah, really great passing there from the Lightning. Hurdle drive down the lane, feeds Horton in the corner. No good on the 3 ball. Derek Hall's going to collect that rebound. He'll get an easy 2 off the glass. And that's where Derek Hall's going to make his money in this game, Chris.
Well, again, he's got the height advantage against almost everyone in NBL Canada, so being able to get that work done in the paint's going to be big.
And Royce White, no good off the glass, but Ahmed Starks is going to pick up the foul there, trying to defend the much larger White.
Yeah, and I think Starks didn't realize how quickly White was coming because he ended up being stuck in the restricted area there.
So White will go for his first couple points in his return here. Free throw number 1 finds the basket, so that's White's first couple points in a few games. Two for 2 for Royce. Ahmed Starks across the timeline. Out to Horton. Top of the arc. He'll set his dribble up. Out to Starks. Starks will feed Hall underneath the basket. A great pass, but just a little bit can't handle it on the much taller Hall.
Well, it looked like Starks was already past the play, so I think Hall didn't expect that pass to come at all there. Heck of a pass if it finds Hall's hands, but I don't think Hall was ready.
Herring Jr. making a quick move, top of the key, just a little bit too short. Kevin Rogers with the rebound. Starks moving quickly down the court. Sets himself up in the corner for a 3. No good. Herring Jr. with the rebound.
Out of control shot. I don't like that one at all.
Williamson over to Anderson. Anderson drives lane. Pass gets over to Herring Jr. Uncontested 3. And when you give them that kind of time out on the edge, the Lightning will make you pay despite their shooting troubles this year.
And just a blistering pace we have going right now. Halfway through the quarter, it's already 16-11.
Hall thinks 3 over to Starks. Starks behind the back to Rogers. Rogers will take a 3. No good. Off the back of the rim. Hall helps collect that rebound away from Boyd, though. Starks inside to Hurt. Just inside the free throw line. No good. Boyd with the rebound. Williamson quickly down court. Royce White over to Anderson. Thinks 3. Herring Jr. setting up screens for himself. Cross court to Williamson. And we're going to have a defensive foul here on the KW Titans.
I believe that one was on Hurt. We'll have to see.
It will go towards Justin Hurt on the play.
KW Titans already at 3 team fouls. I mean, it's not quite like last game, but kind of early to have 3 already.
Some offensive substitutions here for the Lightning. Mo Bolden and Kyle Johnson into the game. And another Titans foul here. We'll get immediate timeout. Knoxstrom TV game broadcast taking you into the break. right, back from our media timeout. Brendan here with Chris. Chris, the first 6 minutes of the quarter, we saw some great ball movement from the Lightning there.
Yeah, and it really looks like the band is back together, having Royce White out there. All those guys have such chemistry. They showed it last year. They've shown it this year time and again. And just that ball movement, Doug Herring Jr. almost had his head taken off by one of the passes. They're really trying to push the pace. But you got to love that ball movement from the Lightning.
So just one substitution out of the timeout here for the KW Titans. Tremar Sutherland takes the floor. And the Lightning just after the KW fouled inbounds here. Kyle Johnson. Julian Boyd sets his dribble. He'll back Rogers up. He'll take a 2 off the glass and in. Julian Boyd having a great start to the game.
Just a side note, not sure what's going on, but Ahmed Stark's making his way back to the locker room.
And sorry, that's also Darren Duncan on the floor there for the KW Titans as well. Kevin Rogers up top to Derek Hall. Hall over to Sutherland. Sutherland with the deep 3, no good, too hard off the glass. And a fight for the rebound there.
Just got barreled over, Doug Herring Jr.
And Horton helps him off the floor. And we'll have Lightning ball, and Horton unfortunately going to pick up the foul there. That'll be team foul number 5 for the KW Titans so far in this quarter.
I've got to say, maybe there's no validity to it, but the transaction deadline, is tomorrow. Ahmed Starks walking back to the room, not with a trainer, didn't look angry in any way. Wonder if there's something cooking up there.
Chris stirring the pot a little to start the game.
We'll see. We'll see.
So we've got a check out here. That's Ed Horton off the floor. That's Anthony Miles. Just his second game with the KW Titans on the floor. The Kyle Johnson 3, no good. Anthony Miles collects a rebound. 5 minutes left in the quarter. We've got an 18-11 Lightning lead. Rogers throws it up for Derek Hall. Mo Bolden gets a hand in there. Kevin Rogers with the finish off the glass, though.
It looks like KW's come back to try and match London's size that they had early. They saw London take Royce White out of the game, so now they're trying to put their own bigs in.
Mo Bolden, though, goes baseline, gets a 2 of his own. Mo Bolden never a man to back down from some physical contact down there. So Duncan looking to move inside, tries to feed Rogers up top, and he's going to take the foul on Bolden, prevent him from moving down the floor quickly.
I think they're going to talk about if it's clear path or not.
They are going to give Bolden 2 from the line here by the looks of it.
That is going to be the limit, though, for the KW Titans.
Yeah, the Lightning a clean game so far. 6 minutes in, 6.5 minutes into the first quarter, no fouls.
Friesen Laddie checking into the game for the Lightning here.
Marcus Capers as well on the floor.
Kirk Williams Jr., so all the bench in.
And Bolden, no good. So Lightning hold on possession here. So Capers gets his first game action. He'll move his dribble. Feeds Bolden out top. He's going to go inside on Anthony Miles. Floater no good. He'll collect his own rebound, though. Tough under the rim. Can't get it over the much taller Derek Hall. Miles with the ball here. Feeds Hall. Friesen Laddie with the pickoff pass. He'll get it down court to Capers. Capers to Kyle Johnson. And he'll settle things down on the offense. Maybe a little too quick there. Capers out to Bolden. Bolden for a 3. No good. Sutherland with the rebound there. And a pretty big missed opportunity for the Lightning there, Chris.
Well, absolutely. And just like that, if they get points here, KW in a good spot.
And Derek Hall doing his work down low. Capers feeds Friesen Laddie. Thinks 3. Checks his dribble. He'll go right into the rim, though, off the glass.
Ooh, easy call.
And Kevin Rogers puts Friesen Laddie on his backside.
And as long as you're playing the ball, I don't mind that foul. Make him earn it from the free throw line there.
That will be the limit, though, for the KW Titans. Hometown hero Greg Morrow checks into the game for the KW Titans.
Of course, the all-time leading scorer for Western University here in London, Ontario. Londoner himself, too.
Usually has a few friends in the crowd.
Yeah, I don't think you'll hear as many cheers for the opposing team as when Morrow gets a bucket.
So Friesen Laddie 2 for 2 from the line. 22-15, the Lightning have the early edge on the Titans. Sutherland struggling to make a move there, but Kirk Williams Jr. is going to pick up the foul first of the game for the Lightning.
Foul charge, Lightning number 31, Kirk Williams Jr. That's his first hit, the team's first.
Another sub coming in, Ashton Smith. Not quite checking in, but getting ready to come in for the Lightning.
So Duncan moves the ball across half court. Over to Miles. Miles trying to make a move inside. Bolden plays him tough. No, he's going to pick up the blocking foul there. Couple quick fouls in succession here, for the Lightning.
I think this helps KW too if the pace slows down a bit. London was really getting out in transition there. If you can slow this game down, bring it to a grind, guys like Hall can start to thrive with more buckets inside.
Sutherland struggling to find a friend. There's Hall with the ball. He'll feed Sutherland back, though. No good off the glass. Bolden grabs the rebound there. Friesen Laddie down the course. Capers. Back to Friesen Laddie for 3. No good. Derek Hall grabs the rebound. Duncan. Waiting for a screen help there. Nope. He'll feed Hall down below the basket, though, and Kirk Williams Jr. goes in there with a tough foul. Doesn't let Hall get the basket easy, so Hall shoot 2 from the line here.
It's 2 quick fouls for Kirk Williams Jr., but again, I don't mind making a guy like Hall earn it from the line. I mean, last time these guys played, Derek Hall did a double-digit number of free throw attempts in that game, did a lot of his damage from the free throw line.
Hall, a fairly good free throw shooter. Helps when that wing length can get you as close to the rim as possible on the shot. Capers drives the floor, and he'll go in for a beautiful lay-in of his own.
Capers has been really aggressive the past 2 games, and I like that from him. When he goes and gets his own shot, it's a great game for him.
So Morrow feeds back to Duncan.
By the way, I do believe I see. Sorry, Brendan. I do believe I see Starks back on the KW bench.
So Hall alone, down low. Capers is going to pick up the foul, defending him, and suddenly the Lightning having trouble with Derek Hall down low. The Lightning look like they'll get a quick team huddle there. Derek Hall, thorn in the side of the Lightning his last couple games. Not that long ago that he dropped 30 on them. Hall once again from the free throw line, 3 for 3 in the game so far. And a perfect start for Derek Hall. Just over 2 minutes left in the first quarter here. The London Lightning lead the KW Titans 24-19. The Lightning have gotten their offensive burst, something we're used to, but the KW Titans hanging right with them. Capers trying to feed Kirk Williams Jr. down below the net. A turnover there for the Lightning.
It's going to be important for KW to keep playing this way. They sometimes fall into playing a little bit too much isolation ball as the game goes on. They got to make sure they keep playing this team basketball well, and they got the right point guard to do it in Darren Duncan.
Duncan over to Sutherland. Back to Duncan. Feeds Sutherland, thinking about going up high there to Rogers.
They're trying to get Rogers because he's defended by Friesen Laddie there.
And Kirk Williams Jr. coming in for help. No good. Rogers off the glass. A little too strong. And Miles will force that ball out of bounds, so the Lightning will grab the turnover there.
Great help from Kirk Williams Jr., but Friesen Laddie really held his own there against the bigger Rogers.
So Capers on the dribble here, feeds Kyle Johnson. Kyle Johnson has to think twice about that pass. So Sutherland grabs a turnover. Friesen Laddie, great hustle down the floor. That'll still be Titans' ball, but Sutherland a little lazy with the ball there, not realizing Friesen Laddie hot on his heels. So we've got a Titans timeout here, minute and a half left in the quarter. We will be right back after the break. All right, back from the KW Titans timeout. Once again, Brendan Jameson, my friend Chris Croucher here with me on color. Still just a 5-point lead for the Lightning. KW Titans doing their best to hang around. And really, that's all you can ask for in a game. Coming off a game where the Lightning just ran away with it late. Really, we need to see the Titans hold on to this defensive strategy, holding the Lightning only, I believe, to about 4 points in the last couple minutes.
And especially with London, everyone knows they have that fast-paced offense. Holding them under 25, usually you'd be like that's the number you want to hold them to at the most. But with London, 25 is an excellent number to be able to hold them to if they can keep that up.
And Kevin Rogers misses the dunk there, a little too strong. And this could be big the other way for the Lightning. Friesen Laddie under the rim. Kyle Johnson looking to feed the pass. And we're going to get a foul here on the Titans, so Kyle Johnson's going to go shoot free throws. And a huge shift in momentum there. You have to imagine if Rogers finished that dunk, that'll take the air out of this arena and put the Titans right back in it.
Well, it's one of those things where sometimes the bounces don't go your way. Think about how different this looks if Rogers gets that dunk, kind of quiets the crowd, and then Duncan goes down the floor and gets a steal. But, you know, that's just the way sports go sometimes. You don't get the bounces.
And so Kyle Johnson gets his from the line. Greg Morrow back to Duncan. Duncan moves around. He'll attack the interior. Waits, shoots out to Miles. Miles loses his footing.
Someone's got to come help him.
Yeah, Kyle Johnson will get that pass. And no, but he'll lose control of it. The Titans losing control of it. A little bit slippery on the ball handing there, and Shamar Sutherland drains a big three for the Titans.
And that time the bounce is going the other way. KW getting a nice little play for themselves. 3 points.
So 40 seconds ticking off the clock here in the first quarter. Kirk Williams Jr. over to Friesen Laddie. Friesen Laddie to Capers. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Kirk Williams Jr. out to Friesen Laddie for an open three ball. And Friesen Laddie's not going to miss that one very often.
Great answer by Joel Friesen Laddie. He's really been a clutch player for both London and Halifax during his time there. The current defending two-time champion, something not a lot of guys can say.
Jamar Sutherland going inside, feeds Rogers. Rogers out to Duncan on a deep three, no good. 10 seconds left here, shot clock off. Capers moving quickly over to Kyle Johnson for a three, no good. Bolden tried to snatch the rebound, loses control. He'll throw it up, no good off the glass there. A great ending to the first quarter. After 12 minutes, we've got the Lightning 28, the KW Titans 22. We will join you on the other side of the break here with the Knoxstrom TV. right, folks, welcome back to the start of the second quarter. The hometown London Lightning with an early 6-point lead over the visiting KW Titans. Titans will begin the second quarter with possession, and that is Ahmed Starks on the floor for the KW Titans, so hasn't left the game.
They're definitely not traded.
No, so we can
wrong.
Stall those trade rumors for now. Starks into Duncan. Duncan, Kyle Johnson guarding him closely. Royce White, White's going to pick up the foul there, trying to slow down Duncan.
Yeah, just held on to him a bit. Easy call.
Sutherland into Duncan. Duncan over to Rogers. Rogers with the jumper, no good. That's Morrow with the rebound. Out to Duncan. Duncan with the deep three, and that's just a laser into the basket.
Yeah, and Darren Duncan, a guy who knows to get his buckets when the team really needs him that time, gives a nice little kickstart to the Kitchener-Waterloo offense here.
So White will back up Greg Morrow. Moves all the way to the rim. Morrow's going to pick up the foul defending White.
If the Lightning score 100 points, fans can bring their game ticket to receive a free order of Mandarin pizza bread or cactus cut potatoes with any time purchase of $10 or more up to a week after.
So a little bit of a smaller lineup here for the KW Titans to start the second quarter.
Well, it's almost identical to the lineup we saw to start the game for both teams. Greg Morrow being on the floor, really the only major change for KW, and Duncan too, pardon me. But really that front court battle between Royce White, Julian Boyd, and Kevin Rogers is going to be one to keep an eye on.
So White misses his second. It'll go out of bounds off a Lightning hand, though, so we'll get possession by the Titans. Starks all the way to center court to Morrow. Morrow moving quickly. Out to Sutherland. Duncan moving some bodies around. He'll break off. Out to Morrow for three. No good. Off the rim, White collects the rebound. And Darren Duncan with a steal. White getting a little lazy on his dribble there. Morrow moving in quickly. He'll go off the glass for two.
That was just a sneaky vet move by Darren Duncan, trying to hide where Royce White couldn't see him.
And he was sneaking up on White again there before he dished out to Boyd. Boyd no good with the three. Anderson's going to collect that deep rebound. Anderson all the way to Garrett Williamson in the corner there. Williamson out to Kyle Johnson. Three-ball threat, no good. Rogers with the rebound. Duncan cross to Starks. He'll take a deep three. No good. Boyd with the rebound. Williamson moving the ball quickly. Feeds Anderson behind him. Starks almost with the steal there. And Starks is going to pick up the foul there.
Yeah, it's not going to be a shooting foul. They're going to say that happened on the floor.
So Herring Jr. back on the court here. Kyle Johnson steps off. The entirety of the Lightning starters will be back on the floor. Royce White's first 12 minutes back in the game. Chris, what do we think so far from him?
Well, I think there have been a little bit of signs of him. He hasn't played in a bit. But at the same time, seeing some of the ball movement, seeing the way, the team's really worked off each other.
And Anderson with the big three.
Has really been really good to watch, and he ends up in buckets like that.
So Duncan.
They got that mismatch of Rogers and Herring Jr. if they want it.
Duncan under the rim off the glass. Great move by Duncan. Little reverse lay-in off the glass. Sweet. Anderson over to Williamson. Williamson loses control of the ball, but Sutherland's going to pick up the foul there. So a couple minutes into the second here. Lightning lead just down to 3, 32-29. Anderson in there to Herring Jr. Herring Jr. is going to try and back Duncan up. And Duncan very well defended. And Herring Jr. is going to pick up the foul there. Great defense by Darren Duncan.
Yeah, just took a hack at it. Ends up with the ball. Doug Herring Jr. taking a little bit of a, what I think was a he hit me, I'm hitting back foul right there from Herring Jr.
Starks trying to make a move, doubled there. Rogers with the ball. Julian Boyd not giving him an inch. He'll take a deep two. Floater over Boyd is good. Anderson moving his dribble inside to White. White will feed Herring Jr. out on the wing. There's Williamson backing himself up. Good ball movement here by the Lightning. Royce White down low off the glass.
Oh, man.
That's two and we'll count it, and that's the Royce White we're used to seeing.
And that's just Royce at his dominant best. He's too much to handle for smaller defenders there. He's so strong at getting to the rim, able to finish. It's almost like a defender's just hanging off of him. It doesn't seem to affect him when he goes up like that.
So White finishes the three-point play. And we'll have a quick substitution here. We'll get Derek Hall back on the floor. Greg Morrow, he'll take a seat. Starks across the timeline. Rogers feeds Hall down low. White. And that's going to be a goaltending for sure on the Lightning there.
But 3 hands in the rim.
So the Titans doing a good job keeping this pace well within their grasp. Just a 2-point game here.
You know, the foul's 12-6. You wonder if KW has a little more discipline if they're not leading right now.
And Boyd with a deep three of his own. We know he's a threat from out there. Duncan. Hall down low. He shoots Sutherland coming inside. And we're going to get a foul here on Julian Boyd. Thought he had those hands straight up and down.
I was going to say, hard to be more straight as a stick there.
So Sutherland will shoot 2. And no good there. A couple bounces for Sutherland.
Everything but in there.
And Sutherland good 1 for 2 there. 4-point game, 38-34. London Lightning holding on to their lead. And White once again to the basket.
And again, that's Royce White at his physical best. Just able to deal with the contact, lay it in right under the rim. No one can really stop him when he's able to get that spot.
So White a little short there. Rogers with the rebound. Sutherland moving that ball quickly to the arc. There's Kevin Rogers who sets up for a 3. No good. That's Williamson grabbing the rebound. Herring Jr., he'll feed. He'll go right to the rim. A nice little finger rolling in. And this is not what the Titans wanted to happen. The Lightning getting their quick offense moving. And that's Starks with a great jumper over Boyd. And a steal there for Duncan. Duncan's going to leave it for Starks. He'll take a 3. And like that.
London on the verge of taking a commanding lead, but a 5-point swing like that, that's going to hurt your team. And KW really thankful to have that opportunity.
Williamson attacks the basket. That's no good. And the Titans moving the ball quickly here, trying to attack this Lightning lead. And last Sunday, the second quarter is really where the game got away from the Titans, and so far they are hanging around and they are making it tough on this Lightning team. Kevin Rogers, jump over top of Boyd, 1-point game, ladies and gentlemen.
This had the look of London pulling away, but just like that, the Titans back in it. Big answer from Doug Herring Jr.
Just like the Lightning have done all year. When somebody throws 8 at them, well, let's throw 3 right back. Starks activating his dribble. Rogers going in, 2 off the glass. And this Titans offense is on a roll right now. Anderson with a deep 3. And right now the Lightning are hot from three-point land. That's 2 consecutive for them. Sutherland moves to the interior. Kevin Rogers, lots of time to set up his 3 ball. No good. Sutherland with the rebound. Sutherland inside to Rogers, top of the free throw line. Tries to back up Boyd. That floater's
Got a hand on that.
And no, we're going to have a foul call here, though. So Rogers will shoot 2. I believe that's Julian Boyd who's going to pick up this foul. So Boyd will have a quick seat on the bench. Mo Bolden will check in for him.
You know, I can't say enough about the game Kevin Rogers has had. We talk about Derek Hall a lot as being that interior presence for KW, but Rogers, both mid-range and inside, been a big part of KW. He's got 12 points already tonight in just about a half of work here, and he's done excellent work for this KW Titans team.
Got to hit your free throws, though. Misses his first, but he'll go 1 for 2. Just about 6 minutes left here in the second quarter. London Lightning 48, KW Titans 44. Royce White controls the ball. He'll shoot over to Herring Jr. Herring Jr. attacks baseline.
Absolutely mugged on the way there.
And that's Ed Horton who's going to pick up the foul here. So that's on the floor. And we'll take a quick timeout here. Brendan with Chris, and the Knoxville TV Gamecast will return after this. All right, folks, welcome back to the broadcast. Here from the media timeout, Brennan Jameson with Chris Croucher. Just under 6 minutes left here in the half. London Lightning holding a 4-point advantage over the Titans. Titans with a great offensive spurt the last couple minutes. The Lightning have had answers, though, keeping this a game. And Williamson will inbounds here to Herring Jr. Herring Jr. out to Bolden on the corner. Bolden will go inside, though, and that's a great lay-in. Made Derek Hall commit outside, left that middle open for him. So Anthony Miles back to Starks. Starks over to Hall. Hall thinks 3-ball. No good. Royce White quickly down the floor. Herring Jr. will take a 3-ball over top of Derek Hall.
Oh, man.
And the Lightning are attacking this KW defense right out of the timeout. Hurt over to Rogers. Down low to Hall, trying to back Royce White up. He'll feed Miles out on the exterior. He'll step in and take a jumper. No good. White with the rebound. Miles comes in, though, pokes it away from him. Still Lightning ball. So not what the Titans wanted to see coming out of that media timeout there. Now a 9-point advantage for the Lightning. Herring Jr., Royce White down in the middle, and a big dunk for White. And the Lightning have extended their lead to double digits late in this second quarter. Starks feeds Hall over to Hurt. Hurt tries to make a move baseline.
Tough defense from Williamson there.
Herring Jr. gets his hand on that pass.
Just active feet from Williamson, giving her absolutely no lane on that.
So plenty of time on the clock here for the Titans to shoot. 14 seconds. Hall outside. Starks thinks deep three. Holds on to it. He's going to download a Hall. Hall sets his dribble. He'll take a throw there. Good 2-ball from Hall. Much needed for the Titans. Bolden leaves that ball for Williamson. Williamson moves around the screen of White. Anthony Miles gets a hand. That'll go second level there by the fans.
Fans smashed the ball on the ground for him there.
Yeah. Anderson into Herring Jr. Brian Anderson with a deep three. No good. Strong off the rim. Hall with the rebound. Starks will feed Miles. Miles running. And Williamson will take the foul there. Just preventing the easy basket there from Miles. And once again, this quick-paced Lightning offense has put some strain on the Titans to come back and do the same. So Miles goes 1 for 1. Two for 2 for Anthony Miles. So Kirk Williams Jr. and Marcus Capers back on the floor here for the Lightning. Williamson and White will step off. Capers down the floor across half. Starks pinching him down. Anderson feeds Bolden a little too strong, collects it though. Underneath the rim, Rogers picks up that pass.
They could see exactly where London was trying to go on that play.
Starks over to Miles, and that's going to be a long 2, no good. Hall with the rebound, but no, he's going to pick up the foul on the rebound there. A little bit too hard off the back.
Yeah, I think they're going to say it was a bit of a push. He does not like that call, though. Effective game for Hall, 4 of 6 shooting, 12 points.
And that puts the Lightning over, puts the Titans over the limit, so Anderson's going to take foul shots here as well. And you do not want offensive fouls in your own end becoming opportunities for the Lightning.
Well, anytime your possession ends up in the other team's points, it's never a good look.
So Anderson 2 for 2 from the line. Starks. Anderson giving him some trouble down the court. Cross timeline. Out to Justin Hurt. Starks moving that ball over to Rogers. Inside to Derek Hall. Kirk Williams Jr. is going to grab the foul there defending Hall.
Got our good friends from Start.ca in the house today. Thanks so much for coming out to a Lightning.
The Lightning, despite the foul there, not making it easy on the Titans. After that media timeout, they have kind of choked them in the offensive end, really not giving them any quality shots. The Titans have made a couple tough ones and some free throws, but they're struggling to find some offense so far in the second half of this quarter.
Well, London went with a lot of guys with big wingspans here, try and really lock things down, use that wingspan to make it difficult to make cuts.
So Rogers and Bolden redirects that shot. So that's going to be Titans ball with just 5 seconds left on the shot clock here.
Timeout Titans with the score.
And the Titans are going to give themselves a timeout to collect some offense. So Brendan with Chris here, we're going to go into another break. We'll see you on the other side. So back from the timeout, Coach Landis for the Titans probably drawing up a quick 5-second play here for them to get a quick shot off and get some offensive life back in the game here for the Titans.
And I actually really like that timeout. Set something up, get a nice play, get some points coming out of that break, because right now you're on the verge of this being a double-digit lead for the Lightning. So you got to get something going here, try and make sure London doesn't reach that milestone there.
So inside to Hall with the
Beauty.
big finish.
Beauty.
And well drawn up by the Titans there.
Had everyone moving and everyone forgot about the big man.
So Herring Jr., he'll take a deep three from the top of the arc. No good. Rogers corrals that rebound. Capers with the big steal, though, for the Lightning. Herring Jr. with the finish at the rim. And the Lightning go the other way. And almost another pickoff from D'Alembert. And we're going to get a foul here on Anthony Miles on the floor. And it looked like the Titans were going to grab some momentum, and the Lightning snatched it right back.
Did you see that jump from Doug Herring?
I didn't
The
think
bunnies on the point guard. Oh, my.
I didn't think he had it in him, but an amazing finish there at the rim. So D'Alembert here checks into the game for the first time, and he'll get himself some free throws. No good, a little short. Friesen Laddie also on the court now for the Lightning. So 1 for 2 there for Ioane. A 10-point lead for the Lightning after a great offensive play the Titans drew up. The Lightning gave them 2 right back. Duncan settles up. Derek Hall. Duncan will try and attack the rim. Little hard off the glass. Hall with the great finish, though. Capers moves outside to Bolden. Bolden sets himself, moves on to the interior. Capers down low off the glass, no good. Rogers with the rebound. Duncan moving quickly half court. That's Hurt with the three.
And I'm loving these counter punches from the KW Titans. They're not going anywhere right now. I love the fight from this team right now. And again, this is a team, they know the last 2 games they played against the Lightning. They lost by 30. They've got some pride on the line here, and they're really fighting the Lightning.
Bolden will take a deep 3, and that's good.
Can't leave Mo Bolden that much space. London shooting a blistering 45% from the three-point line.
So Hurt feeds Miles. Miles moves baseline, finish off the glass. Great move by Miles. Friesen Laddie here. He'll make his own move towards the interior, and that's going to be Miles picking up the foul. Friesen Laddie will go here for free throws.
It's funny, it's been a lot of fouls called in this game, but it sure hasn't felt like it. It's been an interesting flow to the game so far.
Just over a minute left here in the half. 63-57, the Lightning still hold the advantage. Friesen Laddie no good on the first free throw.
Got to make your free throws, kids. London shooting less than 60% tonight.
And 0 for 2 for Friesen Laddie. 2 big
Unusual.
points given up there.
He's a good free throw shooter. That's an unusual one.
Duncan screaming down the court. He'll throw a floater up, no good. Miles tries to grab the rebound. Friesen Laddie, though. And sorry, we've got a foul at the other end here, folks.
Was that? That's not on Friesen Laddie, was it?
We've got a hold here, though. It looks like Anthony Miles is going to go to the free throw line.
We'll say ref had a better angle on that one.
Yeah, must have been something on the rebound there, perhaps a push in the back. A hold. So Miles sets himself up good at the other end, 1 for 1. Two for 2 for Miles. Herring Jr. feeds Capers quickly down the floor. He's going to attack the rim. No good. Little short on his finish. Duncan spins off of Bolden. Cross court to Miles. Miles down in the corner to Hurt. Hurt takes a 3. And the KW Titans have just turned this into a 1-point game with 45 seconds left.
Just like that, London as soon as they hit that 10-point lead, KW Titan almost had a, oh, wait a second, we need to get back here. And they've really battled right now.
So Bolden pushing Morrow back over to Friesen Laddie. Herring Jr. with control. 5 seconds left on the clock. 3, 2, 1 to shoot. Friesen Laddie, no good. Hall collects the rebound. And the Titans could be thinking lead going into the half here. No time on the clock. Hurt with the 3 ball. And my goodness, the KW Titans have sucked the air out of this arena. 5 seconds left in the half. What do the Lightning do to finish here? Herring Jr. with a deep 3. No good. What a finish by the KW Titans. Stripped a 10-point lead away from the London Lightning at the end of the half. So we'll go into the break here with a 65-63 lead for the visiting Titans. We will join you on the other side of the break here. Brendan with Chris and Knoxstrom TV. Good afternoon, folks. Welcome back for the second half of the game between the London Lightning and the KW Titans. Titans opened up a late 2-point advantage over the Lightning with some quick work off of turnovers and some great three-point shooting towards the end of the half there. Chris, gives us some keys to the second half here for both teams.
Well, I think for London, they're going to look at that first half. They could have controlled their destiny a little better there. The turnovers about even, just about even. But London, unfortunately, allowed 14 points off of those turnovers to KW compared to KW, who was able to make a lot of stops after those turnovers. Combine that with the 8 missed free throws from the Lightning. And, we're not that far off. Maybe they get a couple stops off those turnovers, and you get those free throws. You're looking at maybe a 15-point lead. Instead, they find themselves down 2 here with an opportunity to try and change things up, see if they can make the right adjustments to see if they can take advantage of KW here.
So the Lightning hold possession to start the half here. Starting lineup back on the floor for both teams. Herring Jr. across the timeline. Over to White. Hall guarding him very closely. Shoots to Boyd out on the wing for 3, and that's good for him. And the Lightning continue their hot three-point shooting, Chris.
And an excellent start, too. You could feel the momentum shifting to KW coming into the half. And right there, Julian Boyd able to have a nice answer, start London off on the right foot.
So Horton down under the basket, over to Rogers. Rogers a three-pointer over White, and they answer right back with a 3 of their own. And the returning Kevin Rogers having a huge game so far for the Titans.
Again, Rogers probably the MVP for the Titans in this game. 16 points, and that three-pointer able to help his team out a little bit more.
But he overcommits on the pass there. Lets White have a free one to the lane there, and he'll finish with the finger roll, tie game. Starks dribbling his way around Anderson. Big 3 ball, no good. And Boyd with the rebound there. And he'll make his way down court. And no, too hard off the glass there for Boyd.
Just a bit too much adrenaline running right there.
And Hurt with a deep 3 ball, also out of control, so no good there. Herring Jr. flips back to Anderson, inside to Williamson, and he'll finish with an easy lay-in.
Beautiful feed from Anderson. It's amazing the chemistry the starting lineup for the Lightning has. Again, they played together last year during that championship run, and they continue to show that ball movement and that vision, always looking for each other. That's led to London having such a good offense in the past.
So Rogers down low, floater off the glass, and a great start for the Titans there as well. Herring Jr., Williamson down on the baseline, and Starks is going to pick up the first foul of the half there. Great pace so far in this game, and the Titans really sticking to a positive game plan, and this is exactly what you want to see from them if they're going to attempt to pick up a win here. Anderson open with the deep 3, and that's good. Anderson really picking up his shooting coming off of last game where he was a little cold from outside.
Well, again, both teams continuing the torrid pace that we saw in the first half.
And Herring Jr. attempts the pickoff there. That's going to go out of bounds off his hands, though.
We've got our friends from Lafarge in the house tonight. Lafarge, thanks for coming to the Lightning game on a great Sunday afternoon.
So Hurt inside to Rogers. Hurt feeds Starks. Starks moves around. He'll get Rogers at the free throw line. Rogers finishes. No, that rolls out of the rim there. White taking Hall on the inside.
Easy call for the ref right there.
And White's going to take 2. One for Royce to start. And a little short there, but Boyd with the rebound. Herring Jr. inside to White. White's going to go in himself, and he'll finish with the slam.
As soon as he had that extra step, you knew it was going to end up in points. You just can't stop him once he gets going.
And the Lightning have opened up a 6-point lead early here in the third. Starks down low to Hall. Backing up Boyd. Feeds Rogers out on the exterior. 3 ball, no good. And Horton with the rebound over top of Boyd. Great effort there by Horton. Herring Jr. is going to snag that one, though. Moves quickly. Williamson with the finish at the rim. And what great work by the Lightning, feeding their teammates. And that's Landis. He's going to call the timeout here and slow this Lightning roll to begin the quarter. We will take a quick break here from Knoxstrom TV.
We're back here for the third quarter of this game between the Lightning and the KW Titans. My name's Chris Croucher. Brendan stepping away from the mic as we're joined by the Deputy Commissioner, Audley Stevenson. How you doing today, Audley?
Great crowd. I'm feeling fantastic. Great crowd, great energy in the building, and a pretty good game.
Oh, a great game. Of course, we've got the upper bowl as Deputy Commissioner. You got to love seeing that.
Yes.
Great energy to this game as we see the bucket there from the Lightning.
Wow.
It's been a bit of a rough year from KW, but what kind of positives have you seen from this team?
Well, I mean, even look at this game. I think this game is a testament of what this club does. I mean, they fight, they battle. That first half, they kind of struggled. We saw them go on an 8-0 run to sort of close out that half and go on the halftime break with the lead. And it emulates so much. So much times you hear the players sort of emulate their coach. And Serge Landis, he's a hard worker and he's a gritty guy, and defense is big to them. And you're seeing that from the club. So I've been impressed with the way they've battled, considering the adversity from a record-wise. I don't think the record does the team justice, quite frankly.
And again, a lot of veteran guys with experience. A guy like Derek Duncan, always been a top player in this league. As
Ed
White,
Horton.
going to cut in, not able to get that to go. We'll get into a little bit of league news. The big one today, Juan Patillo joining for the first time the Moncton Magic.
Welcome back,
Big
Juan.
Three-pointer.
Yes.
But Juan Patillo added to that Moncton team. What kind of things do you think he brings to the Magic out east?
Well, you saw what he did in Windsor last year when he joined them, and he was an immediate impact player. Big body, can rebound, has a nice little touch around the basket to score, and just provide options. And when you look at the Moncton Magic, who they had his rights, they bring him for insurance just to make sure that they're all set, and when the playoffs come, they're prepared.
And now I am going to ask you about one I know a lot of fans in the NBL have been a little bit curious about.
Really?
The transaction limit.
Yeah.
Regarding Cape Breton and the Kevin Loisel situation out there.
Yeah.
What sort of stance does the league have? Of course, Cape Breton at the time seemed to be out of roster moves. They made one more big three-pointer there. Derek Hall, you can't forget about him.
You love when your bigs, man, can shoot like that, man.
But when you have that limit there, can you just explain to the fans what the thinking was, what the process was that resulted in inevitably Cape Breton being allowed to make another move?
Yeah, the Cape Breton Highlanders knew that they were going to make a move. Regrettably so, they knew they were going to part ways with Mr. Loisel, and they were at their transaction. They were at their limit for transactions. I think the piece that kind of gets forgotten in this is, we've got a Canadian rule, right? And Kevin Loisel was their fifth Canadian, and by releasing that Canadian player, then you're essentially we talk about rules, right? Well, we're sort of missing the mark on having. I'm talking about missing mark right on cue. That was really the rationale behind why the Cape Breton Highlanders approached I'm trying to.
Almost.
I was like, I paused because I was like, here comes something big. And that was the Cape Breton Highlanders, the rationale for why they approached the league and asked for a special provision. It was granted by the Board of Governors, and again, wanting to ensure that they were in compliant with the mandatory 5 Canadian rule.
Now, sticking with the transaction deadline, I know some are curious about when exactly it is. Of course, we know it's tomorrow. Is there a set time that the transactions need to be in by?
11:59 p.m. Eastern, and then of course the appropriate time zones that you're in will follow suit. But yeah, that is the transaction deadline limit, and I think it's important just to understand. There's a difference between when a transaction is announced versus when it comes into the league. So you very well might see something come out the next day that the league received within the appropriate time frames.
Now, going back to some basketball here, we've seen some great play as
Wow.
Starks going all the way.
Man, that kid's speed is incredible.
Going to be a goaltend on Royce White there.
Yep.
And now with Royce White back in London, of course, they've continually added guys from not only last year's team, but being able to constantly have those guys play together. Your personal opinion, I know you can't necessarily play favorites, but which teams have impressed you, I'll say, the most out of the East and the Central?
If we're talking about a team that has gotten attention, I have to look at the Windsor Express. First off, it was sort of a so-so start, and they kind of, I'd say, floundered. I don't mean that in a negative sense, but sort of floundered a little bit. But then really turned it on as of late, and obviously, personnel is a big part of that. But I really like what they've done, and they've made themselves a serious contender to sort of challenge and get increase their standings in the Central Division.
An interesting look at Windsor. They're the only team to have a winning record against the London Lightning. Ryan Anderson, big three-pointer right there. Again, every shot that KW has, London seems to have an answer. It's been back and forth. But looking at the London Lightning, one of the weird stats, tough play there by Justin Hurt.
Hurt's going to hurt people, man.
Yeah, no kidding.
How many times have you used that one?
I try not to go back to that pun well, but
it's hard, man.
Sometimes you can't, But looking at the London Lightning again, constantly having these answers for the KW Titans.
Yep.
Who do you think on the London Lightning? Interestingly enough, they haven't been a big three-point shooting team.
Less threes this year than we've normally accustomed to seeing them. Look, Ryan Anderson is always good from half court for a three-point shot. Kyle Johnson, we saw him score 50 points on this very same floor last season. He's potent. But yeah, it's not the same kind of three-point threat, if you will.
It's a bit of a change in identity with the team, really.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe the coach has something to do with that. New coach, and I know Kyle Julius from last year certainly liked to fire him up, and maybe it's a different style, and but yeah, I think it's fantastic.
89-88 here for the London Lightning. About 5:50 left in the quarter. Kyle Johnson working on Greg Morrow. Now, one of the interesting things with Cape Breton, is there necessarily a limit on how many games they can continue to play without a Canadian, or do they have that limit, Matt?
They have their Canadian now.
Okay.
Right. So they have Cordell Gianti. Welcome back to the league, Mr. Gianti.
You might want to make note here. Mo Bolden and Kevin Rogers getting into it a bit on the court there. Cooler heads are going to prevail as the players and refs separate it. Coach Vassell looking at the situation, asking the ref. Bolden been in a bit of trouble with the refs, was ejected not all that long ago. In fact, that was last game against the St. John's Edge for a flagrant 2. We'll stand by and see what the call is here. Chris Croucher on Knoxstrom TV, joined by Audley Stevenson. 5:36 left in this game. 89-88 for the London Lightning. I think the ref's making a good decision here. They're going to talk it over, let both teams go to the bench here, and just sort of have cooler heads.
I've always been a big fan of that. I have zero problem with officials conferring to make sure that what they saw is in fact what they saw, and we don't have the benefit of instant replay. So I think this is a fantastic move on the part of the officials.
Now, speaking of the officials, always a topic in NBL, whether for right or wrong. But with the officials, just what kind of an idea can you give the fans of the ways that you're working with officials to continue to improve it?
Yeah, I mean, we've continued and always have been working with officials. Certainly after every game, there's feedback. We'll send officials video clips of different plays and provide some feedback on that. We do peer officiating, peer review, if you will, where we've got someone else sit in the stands and watch and give feedback as well. It's an ongoing process. We're actually will be in the coming next week or so setting up a conference call with officials again to kind of talk about sort of priority areas and things that we want to enforce or reinforce them. So that, the officials, it's a constant conversation. It's never not stopped. And while I can understand and appreciate the frustration of sometimes the fans in terms of what they think or what they feel, it's a process. It really is. It's you can't go to official school and be ready for the NBA tomorrow. It's not going to happen. And it's a process. And I think we've got a solid crew as a whole. Are there areas that perhaps we want to certainly get better in? Absolutely, there's no question about that. But I'd say I think we're doing a lot better from the officiating standpoint. I think on average we're probably getting like 50 fouls in and around there per game. I know the last game here we're up to 60, almost 70. And sometimes the flow of the game, the pace of the game demands for a stronger whistle. But overall, I think we're going in the right direction.
Now, we've had a lot of new teams come into the NBL in recent years. Of course, there's talk of Sudbury coming in later. What sort of expansion updates, if any at all, do you happen to have at all?
Not any real updates. I mean, there's always, we'll call them tire kickers, but for lack of a better term, we'll call them that, where there's an interest or inquiries or conversations. But, I mean, right now, Sudbury is the hot plate. That's what we got going on. I'm going up there probably in April. They're going to do a big announcement, team name, things like that, kind of get things in order. They're actively out looking for staff, i.e. coach, GM, so that process started for them. And I can tell you, they're really, really excited. They had a contingent here last weekend, sort of watching the operations here in London and looking to emulate that as much as possible. And they're, the Sudbury group is very, very much aware of what's happening with the league, where things are at, and they're super excited.
Did you put in a submission for the team name?
I did not. I wanted to stay away from that. Someone said the Sudbury Saturday Nights. I'm like, I don't know that. That's the night.
We've got the call here from the refs. It's going to be an unsporting foul on Mo Bolden. Looks like he's talking over a bit with the KW players. Nothing too heated there. As both teams, again, cooler heads prevail.
That's it.
89-88, 5:36 left in the third quarter here. Ahmed Starks is going to take the free throws for the technical.
Yep. Now this is big. We've got a 1-point game going on here, and now you're shooting technicals to tie and perhaps take the lead. This is a game, man. I don't know if after the first half, I'm not sure if I would have thought it would have been this tight at this point. But again, this battle back ability for the Titans.
Well, again, the Titans lost by over 30 their past two matchups with London, but a lot of people forget that overtime win on January 5th, that overtime game on January 5th. Between the Lightning and the Titans. So the Titans able to play up to their competition at times.
Yeah, they certainly are. Speaking of overtimes, I think we've set a record of the league of the number of overtime games this season.
There's been a ton.
More than any other season. And I'm telling you, man, that speaks to kind of what we're seeing on the court in terms of sort of just competitive nature of these squads.
Well, I mean, London alone, we've seen 4 overtime games during their season. So lots of tight matches. Do you think that speaks to an improved parity across the league?
Yeah, I think you sort of look at the game overall and the talent level overall, and I think parity absolutely is a big part of that. And you're not seeing. I don't know. I was going to give him that shot. Look good. You see some big performances, but dominant performances, but not to the nature that in the past, if you will. Good pass.
We're going to see Williamson score there. The Canadian with 2 points, former Canadian of the year. Looking around the league, obviously the Canadian talent, a big thing you guys want to promote. Have there been any players who have really stood out for you? The Canadian players.
Man, I mean, the stuff that Terry Thomas has been doing, for the Moncton Magic has been phenomenal. Carl English, man, it's the moments he stepped in this league, he's just sort of had an impact right away. Not only just in the league, but the franchise as a whole. And I think Carl English is a perfect example of sort of what it does on and off the court. And yeah, I'm super thrilled watching some of these players out there go to work.
Now, looking ahead a bit to the off season, obviously you're still focused on playoffs, but is there anything sort of in the calendar that you're looking at to the off season that you kind of want to work on?
I mean, we've got some internal things that we are looking to tighten up and get better at. Certainly, that's on the radar. You got those little things. We'll do it in the off season, and that's kind of where we're at right now. Nothing sort of specific that I can say to you. This is what's happening. We've engaged with a basketball firm to assist the league with some sponsorships, and we announced that a little while back, and that process has started, and we're looking to slowly grow that and build that. But yeah, it's all about growth and development, and stabilization is a big piece for us too.
Going to be a foul called there on Joel Friesenladdie as Rogers cuts the basket. Rogers having himself quite the game for the KW Titans. 22 points, 13 rebounds, and not even 3/4 of work.
My goodness, his ability to score on the block and step outside, and then just a mid-range jumper is fantastic.
Combines with Hall to make a really formidable front court for KW. Titans work the ball inside. Rogers trying to back down Ashton Smith. Mouse in the house gets the bucket. Smooth moves from Kevin Rogers.
Right on cue. You said his name, and look, he goes, "I got something for you, Chris."
Friesenladdie recovers the turnover. Here's Capers. Resetting the offense just a bit here. Bolden sets the screen. Capers doesn't use it. Cuts to the rim. Able to just get the finger roll to go. Marcus Capers.
Marcus Capers was like Plastic Man, just stretch up.
Now we're seeing a lot more returning players. I mean, a guy like Marcus Capers has been here many years. Mo Bolden, 2 different teams, lots of years in the NBL. What brings them back?
I'm hearing the players. Whenever I talk to players, it's sort of being close to home. I mean, a lot of people look to overseas as a destination spot, and as attractive as that might be for a lot, it's not. And to be in North America and still play, and don't undervalue the importance of being close to family and friends, because that does mean a lot to some of these players, and that would be the first thing that I would.
Mo Bolden with the scintillating slam as he gets 2 for London. London up 96-92, 3:18 left in this quarter.
He cocked that joint.
Woo! As James Johnson said it best, Bolden gonna foul on the play there.
Wow. He had me speechless on that one.
That's gonna be the 4th foul on Mo Bolden, so it might be the last dunk we see for at least a little bit, as Royce White's gonna step onto the floor here.
That's called going out in style then in that case.
No kidding. Quite the furious finish to Mo Bolden's stint on the floor right there. He'll be back out later.
Coach like that one.
Kevin Rogers, where he's been a couple different times tonight, back at the free throw line.
Wow.
Connects on the first.
Mr. Rogers is just putting in work.
Connects on the second as well. We're having substitution as Nigel Titer comes into the game.
Yep, another banger down low that'll eat up boards and create space and havoc.
Capers going after Morrow. Thinks twice. Johnson staring down Tramar Sutherland. Pumps, feeds White. White backing down Titer. Good defense by Titer, forces a tough shot. Yeah. Unable to convert. Greg Morrow back down the floor.
I think that's what he's there for, to really make things difficult for Royce.
Kicks it outside. This is Miles, unable to convert. London back the other way. Capers slows the pace and feeds Johnson. Back inside to White. Same matchup, different result. White connects and one. Royce White with the chance at a 3-point play.
Listen, fighting through the contact. There was a lot of banging down there, and to muscle that bucket up. That's awesome.
Now, I've asked you about the Canadians who have stood out to you. I'll get the short list, I would say. Your MVP candidates. I know how many games you're watching. Short list.
No, I knew that. I knew that was coming for sure. No, we've seen some really strong performances. I touched on Carl English. Touched on Terry Thomas. I mean, look, we arguably could have a Canadian finish with the MVP this season, and that's Nice drive to the basket. That hasn't happened before. But I mean, those are certainly two guys that come to mind. You look at the work Royce put in at the beginning of the season. We oftentimes, and this may, when you look at a team like the Halifax Hurricanes, consistent. They're going about their work as they normally do, and sometimes you kind of, just because you expect it from you, sort of forget. And a guy like Billy White is an example. I mean, he's been Mr. Everything for them. So there's a few of the guys that sort of come to mind initially when it's time for voting. And I'm glad it's not on my shoulders. I'll tell you that. When it's time to make some decisions, it'll be nice to see where it all lands.
Now, just for the fans at home, who does decide the voting on those awards?
Coaches.
All coaches?
Yeah, I think we were toying with the idea of introducing some sort of fan voting element of that. So we're sort of working through those details, but that we could see something like that as well, where they have input, if you will, but not necessarily the final say.
We're having an offensive foul called on Marcus Capers. They're going to say he pushed off to get that space there. That's going to be KW ball. 3-point game, Titans with a chance to tie it or at least breathe on the necks of the London Lightning here.
How many times have we said that this game, man?
It's been the Titans have not gone away.
No.
High-scoring game. We're almost at 100 for both teams before the end of the third.
And still a quarter to go.
Darren Duncan sets up the offense. Kicks it outside. Miles drives, hoop, and harm.
Wow.
Anthony Miles with the excellent play for the KW Titans.
I love that drive because, he easily could have taken that 3-point shot, but you saw the lane, and look, at the end of the day, he has a possibility to have the same result as a main 3-point shot.
Well, KW taking a lot of attempts this season, and so I think the London Lightning defense closing out, almost assuming the three was going to be there. Nice to switch it up once in a while.
Yep. Keep the defense guessing.
Miles 8 points off the bench in this game. Makes it 9.
Well, tied it up.
Marcus Capers back down the floor for the Lightning. Capers has been very aggressive of late, trying to get his buckets. He's going to get one right there, Marcus Capers. KW looking for an answer. Crowd back into this game. Greg Morrow cuts right through the defense and answers.
Sliced all the way through.
Just absolutely no one getting in his way as Capers back down the floor for the Lightning.
Heads up move by Mr. Morrow.
White straight after the tighter there, able to finish.
Over the shoulder.
When Royce White gets momentum towards the basket, you just kind of got to hang on. Nothing's really going to stop him.
You're right there.
Miles. Sutherland cuts to the rim, able to convert. Shamar Sutherland. Tie game, 103-103, Marcus Capers.
Each team's answering each other with back-to-back hoops.
It's punch, counter punch here in London. Joel Friesenladdie back outside to White. 41 seconds left in the game, 12 on the shot clock. White feeds outside. Ball a little high, unable to get the shot. Doug Herring Jr. cuts to the rim, fouled, unable to get the shot, but he'll go to the line to shoot too. Both teams over the limit.
I think we forget that Doug Herring Jr. in this league has been a potent scorer. He was an offensive beast with those mill rat squads, him and Double A in the back. Goodness. Oh my goodness. I think the two of those guys accounted for half of the point production for some of those squads.
Well, I think it was something like Anderson was making 20 points per game, and Herring Jr. was 18 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds. Just an unreal team the Mill Rats had there.
Ridiculous numbers.
I almost think it's been better for Herring Jr. in London, though, than with St. John. In St. John, he kind of had to play off the ball a little more.
Right.
Whereas I think he's really fit in as the lead guard here for the London Lightning.
I remember Doug once saying to me, people forget. They forget I can play point. I can play point.
He's arguably the best point guard in the league the way he's been playing this season.
Only 22 assists. He broke the record there. Yep. That belonged to Darren Duncan for years.
Doug Herring Jr., when he first signed with the Lightning last year, his first 2 games, he broke franchise records in assists with 17 and 15.
Yep. See, that's why you're here, Chris. You remember these things, man.
Hey, 5 years strong. Where's my ring?
There we go. Great question.
Darren Duncan trying to work around Capers. Capers committing the foul. That's going to be number 3 on Capers. A little bit of foul trouble for the Lightning. Mo Bolden at 4, Julian Boyd at 3, and now Capers picking up his 3rd. Similar situation for the Titans. Derek Hall and Ahmed Starks both with 4.
Yep.
Physical game so far. We've hit the limit in every single quarter. Again, Darren Duncan, one of the true floor generals in NBL Canada.
Man.
During his time with the Windsor Express, of course, won a championship alongside Steph Bonneau.
Hey, I mean, back in them days, Darren Duncan was a legit MVP candidate. No question about that. And to have a guy like that on your floor, on your roster rather, to put on the floor is fantastic.
Consistently one of the top assist men in the NBL when he's been in the league.
Yep.
Royce White coming down the floor for the Lightning. Staring down Nigel Titer. Lets Doug Herring set the offense up.
Just over 1 second differential being shot in game clock.
London hoping this is the last shot of the quarter. Herring Jr. over to Johnson. Defended by the much larger Titer. Tough shot.
Wow.
Can't get that to go. Second left. Takes it.
Oh.
Can't get it to go. That looked good right there.
Wow.
Thank you very much
Wow.
for joining me on.
Hey, man,
It's been
thank
a
you.
pleasure as always.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate it.
105-104 for the KW Titans heading into the fourth quarter. My name's Chris Croucher. Brendan Jameson will be returning to the broadcast. You're watching NBL Canada on Knoxstrom TV.
All right, folks, here for the final frame of this game. Brendan Jameson back in action here with Chris Croucher. The Titans with a, I guess we'll say surprising, it has to be, with the way they performed the last two games against the Lightning. The Titans holding on to a 1-point edge, and they are giving the Lightning everything they can handle so far.
You wonder if the Lightning, after that game against St. John's, maybe this was a bit of a trap game. You also got to think, as Derek Hall is going to miss that shot, London had to focus on St. John's, whereas KW has been able to continue to keep the crosshairs on London with no game in between their last matchup.
So Herring Jr. controls the ball. If he's freezing Laddie, he's going to go down the court, and no good. Morrow's going to pick up the foul on him. Friesen Laddie will shoot too.
Friesen Laddie a little frustrated there. Had a couple good cuts to the basket, just hasn't been able to finish, but at least this time he's getting himself to the line. And again, one of the things I talked about right before the start of the third quarter there, London's kind of been in control of their own destiny. 14 of 26 at the free throw line. I mean, that's a pretty big number right there. 55% shooting, 53% shooting make that, pardon me. And also the points off turnovers, KW 17-7. London only turning the ball over 2 extra times. So, I mean, you turn one of those transition buckets into a stop and you make your free throws, and you've got a nice sizable lead here, but a couple of errors, and London's find themselves in a battle.
So Friesen Laddie drains both of his free throws, though. Some improvement over when he missed 2 at his first trip to the line. Duncan controls the ball here. Royce White tight on him. Duncan will take him inside. Shoots the floater, tries to maybe change that to a pass to Hall, but Sutherland in there. Great offensive rebound and great finish from Sutherland.
Doug Herring Jr. wanting to call on that one.
So Capers trying to feed Kyle Johnson, swinging around. He'll swing around himself. Back to White. White over to Johnson. We know he's a very capable three-point shooter. He's going to take that one every time.
Way too much space, and he gave a little stare down to Greg Morrow, too.
So Hall controls. Top of the offensive area. Duncan. Over to Sutherland. Sutherland flips it to Hall. Hall trying to back White up. And that's going to be Titans' ball, but a great feed by Capers to interrupt the pass there.
And also great job by Royce White. Kind of forced that turnover. Hall thought he could just back him down, but White didn't budge an inch.
Chris, always nice to get a visit there from the commissioner of the league.
Again, Audley Stevenson, a longtime face of the league in his role as the media rep, and now the deputy commissioner. It's going to be a foul called there. We'll see if it's a shooting foul or if it's on the floor. It's going to be, they're going to call this one the third on Capers, pardon me.
So Rogers is going to take free throws here.
I think there might have been an error. I'm seeing Marcus Capers at 4 fouls, Mo Bolden at 4 fouls as well. Doug Herring Jr., though, you can't say enough about him. 16 points, 9 assists in this game. Speaking of guys you can't say enough about, Kevin Rogers, 27 points now in this one, 13 rebounds. You know, it's interesting because with KW, they've got such a dominant front court, the record almost springs up on you by surprise because they've got guys like Rogers, they've got a guy like Derek Hall who are able to just kind of take over games when they want.
But unfortunately, stuck at a 4-18 record. It would take a almost complete turnaround and some dismal. And Julian Boyd with the big three. He doesn't take many, but he's been hot. I believe that's his third of the game.
They're trying to ISO Hall. There it is.
And Rogers with the finish.
Beautiful read. Rogers knowing what was coming, and Hall, even though the play was run for him, being able to make that look.
Herring Jr. to Friesen Laddie at the rim. And the Lightning have been able to key up a couple of those big plays to really get the crowd going here, keep the momentum in their favor. Sutherland dishes to Hall. Hall attacks the interior over Boyd. Floater a bit too strong. They're struggling to corral the rebound. Friesen Laddie, we're going to go to a jump ball there. And that's a mismatch between the much larger Derek Hall.
Both Boyd and Friesen Laddie looking a little shook up. Boyd holding his shoulder. Ooh, that doesn't look good.
Not a good look for the Lightning there.
Heavy collision.
Shaking it off. Looks like he'll be okay on this one. So possession awarded to the Lightning on that play.
I think they're trying to say that Boyd has to go to the bench here.
Yeah, they'll sit Boyd down for a little bit.
He was clearly not okay. I recognize him for trying to tough it out, but...
And he'll wait immediately at the substitution circle there. And he'll jump in at the next available moment.
Yeah, that shoulder looked a little rubbery as he was getting up there. And that's his shooting arm, too.
Kyle Johnson, no good. Little too short on the 3-ball. And Herring Jr. with a great move to pick off the pass.
Thought about saying hi to a fan there.
A little bit of a hello.
Boyd checking right back into the game. He's had an effective night so far. 6 of 8 shooting, 15.7 rebounds. And again, another great defensive effort from Boyd tonight, too.
So Miles, down low to Hall. Miles gets the ball back for 3, no good. White corrals that rebound. Over to Herring Jr. Herring Jr. Royce White. He's going to take Hall in, shoots over to Friesen Laddie on the wing. 3-ball good from him. Sutherland.
It's going to give London 6 double-digit scores in this game. Everyone putting the ball in the bucket tonight.
Well, when you've got a 117, 111 game, you figure there's going to be a couple players on both teams hanging those double digits. And Sutherland, rocks the rim there.
Really needed that. You know, this is the first time London's had some breathing space since really the second quarter.
White backing up Tremar Sutherland. A little bit of a mismatch defensively there. And Sutherland gets the best of him, though. It's going to be an easy finish for Rogers.
I think Sutherland's played against White enough to see that behind-the-head pass coming right there.
Herring Jr. setting himself up. Boyd on the screen. Little jumper from the key, no good. Hall with the rebound. Over to Miles. Back to Derek Hall, swings it to Duncan. Duncan over to Rogers, thinks three, goes down low to Hall. Spin around jumper, no good. White knocks that ball over to Friesen Laddie. Feeds Boyd, he's going to finish that ball. He says, my shoulder's just fine, don't worry.
London really taking it to KW here. KW desperate for a stop, otherwise Coach Langus might have to call a timeout.
Down under 7 minutes here. Lightning lead 119 to 113. Rogers with the ball under the basket. Lets the defender go over him. He'll pick up 2.
It's 34 points for Rogers. Just a hell of a night.
So Royce White looks to back Hall. Back up under the rim. No good. Can't collect that, but Friesen Laddie does behind the back. Beautiful feed to Kyle Johnson. No good.
That deserved points.
White with his rebound, though, and Duncan's going to pick up the foul there, trying to hold on to Royce White. What a phenomenal feed from Friesen Laddie. Real silky smooth behind the back there, Chris.
That pass really deserved points. Unfortunate that it couldn't, but Friesen Laddie playing with a little more swagger than we've seen recently. I like to see that from him.
So Bolden and Anderson check on the floor here. We've got Justin Hurd on the floor for Anthony Miles there for the Titans as well.
Yeah, we talked about London being able to control their destiny. Just one turnover since we talked about those being a problem.
Mo Bolden sets Hall up, and he'll get a floater over top of Hall. Great shot fake and drive by Bolden. Rogers, Boyd on him tight. Rogers with the spin off of Boyd. Great move, and he'll pick up the foul there.
And that's immediate timeout with the score.
So just 6 minutes left here in the final frame there, folks. Brendan Jameson with Chris Croucher. We'll see you on the other side of the break here. right, folks, we return for the second half of the fourth quarter here. 6 minutes remain. Lightning will open up this half of the quarter with a 6-point lead over the visiting KW Titans, with Kevin Rogers taking 2 shots. Chris, we've mentioned throughout the season the Lightning's really dismal three-point shooting. 50% effort in this game, though.
Yeah, just incredible from beyond the arc for the London Lightning. KW shooting well as well. 51% from the field, 36% from beyond the arc. Most nights that'll get it done. But you've got London just playing at their absolute best. It's a tough team to beat when they get clicking beyond the arc like that.
So Rogers takes both of his free throws. 4-point game now. Anderson loses the ball to Duncan, and he'll pick up the foul. Duncan was going to have an easy pass to the net there.
I believe he'll go to the line.
Yeah, they'll call a clear path there.
They just call that an unsporting foul?
And a phenomenal move by the Titans into the timeout there. A quick
just
turnover.
like they drew it up.
Yeah. So yes, the Titans will take free throws and possession. And the Titans have really turned themselves around this game, Chris. A couple 30-point blowouts, a game they gave up in overtime a couple games before that, and they are proving that they have the ability to win games like this against one of the better teams in the league.
And again, KW, they got to keep their crosshairs on London. They played them last, whereas London had to play St. John's on Thursday. So whereas London had to kind of shift their focus back and forth between St. John's and KW able to stay just really locked in against the Lightning.
And Tremar Sutherland well open out there on the wing, and he'll finish that three-pointer at the buzzer.
That play looked exactly like the shot that took KW to overtime back in that game as well. Tremar Sutherland able to finish that one.
Big three. The Titans take the lead. Boyd trying to back Horton up. Horton will take the foul. Horton has, despite starting the game, hasn't seen a lot of minutes on the floor. Another zero factor this game for the KW Titans. Kyle Arsenault hasn't seen the floor at all this game. He was a big presence for them from beyond the arc in the previous game.
Almost perfect for three-point shooting in the first half of that last game.
The Titans grabbed the turnover there, though. Hurt the other way up the floor here. And they'll lose control of the ball. Anderson got a little poke in there.
I don't know if Anderson even made contact. I think Hurt just got affected by the pressure.
So what could have been a big basket the other way turns into a turnover. Herring Jr. over to Bolden. Bolden fakes the shot. Back to Boyd. Leaves it for Anderson. Anderson trying to make his dribble count. Feeds Williamson on the inside. And Duncan doing everything he can to keep Williamson from getting the rim. He'll take shots here.
And I'm always going to be okay with those fouls, although Darren Duncan's sitting at 4 fouls now after that. That's not ideal. But I'm always a fan of making a guy earn it from the free throw line. Duncan, clean play. He didn't have to, crush him or anything when Williamson went up with the ball. Just hold the arm down. Don't let him have the easy shot.
And another missed free throw from the Lightning.
And that's why I like that play. You just saved a point.
And if this game ends up going the Titans' way, the Lightning are going to have one big glaring issue, and that's the inability to make free throws in this game, Chris.
Again, they've been around 50% pretty much the entire game, sitting at 55% right now from the charity stripe. Charity stripe not very charitable tonight.
So Hall trying to find a friend over to Sutherland. Sutherland down to Darren Duncan. Flips over to Horton, wide open in the corner. Corner three, no good. Boyd with the rebound. Anderson. He'll step up and take a three. And amazing.
The bank is open. The bank is open.
Did he call it, though? Did he call the bank first?
I'm pretty sure they got to take that off the scoreboard if he didn't call that. I'm sure the refs will verify.
So that gets the crowd going.
Kidding aside, though, London now 7 players in double digits. Just everyone getting their points tonight.
So Anderson helps the Lightning to a 2-point advantage. 4 minutes left in the game. There's Hurt with a three from beyond the arc. Hall with the finish, though. Great rebound. Great finish by Hall there.
Now that front court for KW, both over 20
and
points.
Anderson Maybe a little bit of a forced pass there. Williamson was moving in. Horton really well guarded on him, though. Really left Anderson with no place to put it.
Royce White checking into the game. Julian Boyd going to take a seat.
Duncan moving down the court. Duncan trying to move the offense around here. Playing it very tight. Hall thinking three. Nope. He'll dish to Horton. Horton to Sutherland. Sutherland finds his way into the interior.
Beautiful.
And we're going to count that basket in one.
And this is exactly what happened in that overtime game. Tramar Sutherland came up huge in the fourth quarter, not just on the game-tying shot, but putting up a lot of the points down the stretch for KW. Tramar Sutherland doing it again here for the Titans, giving them a chance here to come away and steal a game here.
So he misses his free throw, though. Bolden can't corral the rebound. Duncan does. He goes to Hurt. Hurt into the interior, off the glass. And a 4-point lead for the Titans now.
I think we're going to have a timeout.
Yeah, we're going to get a lightning timeout here. Vassell's going to take the timeout. We'll join you on the other side of this quick break. All right, back from the timeout here. Brennan Jamison along with Chris Croucher. Smart timeout here by Vassell. The Titans were really attacking that interior, now have a hold a 4-point edge over the Lightning with 3:20 left here in the fourth quarter, Chris.
And again, just a hectic game. Defense is a myth, as both teams already over 120.
So the Lightning will look to take another one away from the Titans. The Titans hope to tighten the series up. Anderson thinking three. Nope, dishes back to Herring Jr. Anderson for three, and that's good. And that is really just his bread and butter. From that area on the court, Anderson is money.
Ryan Anderson, of course, always Mr. Big Shot for this Lightning team. They're going to need a couple more threes. They've been shooting them excellently in this game, up to 51% shooting from beyond the arc. That's an astounding number.
So Horton dishes down low to Hall. He'll try to back White up. White not giving him an inch, though. Hall dishes back to Hurt. Hurt with the out-of-control two.
Oh, man.
Over Bolden. So an and one play for Justin Hurt.
I feel like I could take a Jackie Moon hook shot from half court and make a shot the way these guys are draining him tonight. Oh, my.
So Bolden, that's it for Bolden. That's number 6.
And a great little play by Hurt. He recognized who he was against to try and draw that foul. He swept through before taking the shot. Just a really smart heads-up play from Hurt.
So the lefty finishes a three-point play there.
Hurt now joining two of his other teammates, Hall and Rogers, in the 20-point club tonight.
So Williamson down to Boyd. Boyd will back up Horton. That's a mismatch. No good off the glass. Collects his rebound and finishes, though. The Lightning need a big stop here. Duncan. He's going to try and attack the rim. Trying to move past Anderson. And what a play by Duncan. everything falling for the Titans right now. Back to Anderson, big three ball, and that good. Folks, this is going to be a great finish to the game. 2 minutes left, 133-132. The Titans with the very narrow edge. Justin Hurt, deep two over White, no good. Boyd collects the rebound. Anderson over to Boyd. Boyd back to Anderson. Feeds Boyd in the interior, and Hall's going to pick up the foul there.
That's 5 on Hall now.
And Boyd will take 2 from the line.
That's 5 on Hall. So even if this game ends at 1:30 or in some foul trouble, that could become even more influential should this end in a tie and we go to overtime. Again, that front court has been the strength for KW tonight. Should point out the Lightning with 3 players over 8 assists in the game.
So Boyd puts the tie on the game. Both teams sitting at 5 team fouls, so some space to give with a minute and a half left. And Boyd only goes 1 for 2, but we've got a tie game here. Duncan moving quickly down the court. Duncan, Boyd closely guarding him. He'll try and take it to the rim. No, he'll pass. Herring Jr. with the pickoff. Herring Jr. moving quickly the other way. And that'll go off a Titan hand out of bounds.
You don't see that very often from Darren Duncan.
Serge Landis off the Titans bench there, urging his team to slow down a little bit.
You don't see that very often from Darren Duncan. That turnover there, very costly one. Should point out London with 2 players with double-doubles, 16 and 12, Doug Herring Jr., 12 assists. Julian Boyd, 20 points, 10 rebounds.
So Williamson controlling the ball here. He'll shoot over to Anderson. Anderson maybe trying to set himself up for a 3. And no good. And Justin Hurt, he's going to hit that ball out of bounds, so the Lightning will keep control of the ball, and that's a big turnover at this point in the game, Chris.
Again, you give London a chance to maybe kill even a little bit of clock right here. Tie game.
Herring Jr. directing some traffic. Royce White looking to back Rogers in here. Hall comes in for help, and he'll take it himself. The mask off, no good. Williamson trying to corral it. Hall with the rebound. That's Duncan. Over to Hurt. Rogers down there on the baseline. Hurt. Rogers, and a great matchup there between Julian Boyd. He'll take the 2 over top of him. No good. Herring Jr. collects the rebound. 35 seconds left here in the 4th. Herring Jr. in no rush here. The fans are on their feet here in Budweiser Gardens this afternoon. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Herring Jr. back to Anderson. Anderson feeds Herring Jr. time for the 3, and that's a huge basket. And Budweiser Gardens goes wild here, Chris, with 13 seconds left.
Not so fast. We have seen this from the KW Titans. We have seen this in this matchup. Huge bucket, Doug Herring Jr., but they cannot be satisfied yet.
Chris, I've got goosebumps. Obviously, KW will take a timeout here to figure out some offense. And
well, do they need a timeout? Doug Herring got to take one in between the time he took that shot.
And what an ending to a really phenomenal game. Like you said, defense out the window. And KW, they keyed in on the Lightning today. But this Lightning team, which leads the conference right now, they just never wanted to go away.
Well, I mean, the London Lightning, an outstanding effort. 3 players now with double-doubles. Ryan Anderson, 26 points, 10 assists. Julian Boyd, 20 points, 10 rebounds. Doug Herring Jr., 19 points, 12 assists, 5 rebounds. Going over to KW, Kevin Rogers, 36 points, 13 rebounds. And then you got Derek Hall, 21 points, 9 rebounds. Darren Duncan, 13 points, 10 assists. Just an absolutely frantic game. And if we know anything, when these 2 teams are tied late, you're in for a frantic finish.
So the Titans will obviously try and set themselves up here for a 3 ball. Any chance they try and go down low, get Derek Hall a 2-and-1, or maybe Kevin Rogers
I don't know if there's enough time for that. I think you got to get your 3. I mean, you could try 2 and foul, but the way London's shooting the free throws, but you're taking a bit of a gamble that there's going to be enough clock left.
So hero of the previous game, Tamar Sutherland, not on the floor. Ed Horton, NBL veteran out there, and Kevin Rogers, MVP of the game for the Titans. Justin Hurd, no good. Herring Jr. with the rebound, trying to kill clock. Williamson finishes from Roy twice, no good, and that's it. Game clock over, and they tried to finish with the dunk, but they finished the game no matter what. The Titans had their shot. Justin Hurd unfortunately just could not make it to finish the game. And what an afternoon here in London tonight, Chris.
Just an incredible finish to that game. A huge show for this large London crowd here. Again, Upper Bowl nearly full for this one. And just an incredible show that they both put on.
Well, thank you for joining us this afternoon in London. Once again, the Lightning win 136-133. And for a post-game report, we will shoot over to Aaron and Justin on Facebook Live.